Hello, my name is Kevin James. I am an Assistant Dean and Associate Director of Operations here at the College of Professional Studies at St. John's University. When I was in undergrad, I thought to myself that one day I wanted to run for a political office. I wanted to go into politics, and so I decided that my major would be government and politics because of that. I remember one day I was sitting with one of the assistant deans on the Staten Island campus, Professor Harold Broderick, and thinking to myself that, his position of being an assistant dean, of assisting students, listening to their concerns, being a role model, that's what I want to do. I found that I was falling in love with higher education, working with people, working with students, and wanted to see this flourish. When I first started here at St. John's University, I was a freshman in 2007, and I was looking for a job on campus. And so what I decided to do was I went into my closet and found the only student I owned, and I actually went on for an interview in the College of Professional Studies. The Associate Dean at the time, Dr. James O'Keefe, told me that he was really impressed with the simple fact that for a student worker position, I decided to wear a suit. Management, in a simple definition, means getting the job done through others, or getting work done through others. What I found, especially in today's world, is that when you have to manage yourself, and more importantly, even your life, I think one of the critical things you have to understand is how do you prioritize the key critical things for you to be successful, right? Whether it means getting to work on time, whether it means actually getting a project done, or even what it means to dealing with certain people and relationships. So being able to kind of have an understanding as to what are the key critical things that are important, prioritizing them, and accomplishing those things. Oftentimes, one thing that I will tell my students is that when you start my class, I don't expect you all to become experts at management, but I expect you guys to understand how do you apply being a manager to your everyday lives at your careers. Eventually, the goal here is that in anyone's career, you want to transition from a place of where you are as someone who's working for a company to helping managing it. And so when you're making that transition, it's important to understand how do you work with people. Management is about the people around you. One thing I've learned when building connections and trying to develop relationships is that one of the simplest things that you can do that can help your career is simply walk around and meet people. I'm not even joking, but I really believe that's one of the critical things you have to do. Why is that important? Well, the truth is, just going up and saying hi to somebody, starting a conversation, it builds a one-on-one connection with that person. And whether or not they remember you now or later, you're starting to build something with people. The second thing that I think is as critical is be friendly, be kind to people. You'd be surprised how easy it is that people just want to feel like you can connect with them. You have to be really well versed and professional in anything that you do. My advice to a lot of people today is let your passion drive you. Don't be afraid to really go for what's in your heart, because the truth is, if it's in your heart, if it's in your calling, then oftentimes it'll be the one thing that will drive you for more. So a lot of people today feel that, especially young people, feel that their age tends to keep them from the positions they want or from the jobs they're looking for. My recommendation is to don't let that discourage you. We live in a society where sometimes we have to work twice as hard for the jobs and the careers that we want. Oftentimes what it takes is dedication. You have to remain dedicated to your passion. And when you're dedicated to your passion, oftentimes you start to learn and absorb things that allow you to do more. And the truth is, people today, especially those who are in careers, want to see young and hungry individuals. And so you have to know how to remain hungry. You have to understand that it's important to keep up with the energy that people are asking for. And the truth is, oftentimes, we as a generation are actually in the driver's seat. We're the generation today that understands technology, that understands the growing trends, that understands currently what pop culture is. And so whether you're going into advertising, communications, whether you're going into management or any real field, our age allows us to at least be able to keep up, but more importantly, to bridge the gap between some of our colleagues who are a little older than us and some of the new individuals who are going to be using products and services from us. So we have to keep in mind that our age is not necessarily a detriment. It's a powerful thing, and being young in a career allows you chances to grow. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Don't let that discourage you, even when moments come up where you feel like, I am not good enough. You are good enough. It's not necessarily about having X amount of years of experience, but how hungry are you to learn? And that, I think, is the most critical thing to take and keep in mind. One final piece of advice that I always give students is say thank you. I think that's the one piece of advice that I don't think we do enough of. If you're trying to build relationships and connections with people, oftentimes, whenever they help you or offer you advice or do things for you, always be grateful. And oftentimes, by simply just going back and saying thanks, they remember you, they feel that they can trust you, they come back to you, and oftentimes they're more willing to help you.